The Deseret First Credit Union Hotline is one of our MVPs, ESPN's Trevor Matich, college football insider, analyst, and national champion at BYU. Let's start with the question of the day, Trevor. Who was your MVP of the game for BYU against USC?
Quarterback Zach Wilson. I mean, so many guys would compete for that honor, but Wilson made something out of nothing over and over again. I mean, there were a lot of plays that he executed to perfection, and there were a lot of plays that just broke down. And he had to scramble around and make something happen, and he did over and over again.
Do you like the Mormon Manziel nickname?
No, because it should be the LDS Manziel, shouldn't it?
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Manziel.
Yeah. Well, listen, I said a long time ago that, it's too many syllables. I said a long time ago that Zach Wilson has a little Tua in him, referring to Alabama quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. What I meant by that was that he's got that aggressive, fearless mentality, and he's got the physical tools to back it up. And he showed that in this game just in a massive way.
What have you learned about this specific BYU team after back-to-back overtime wins, one on the road in kind of miraculous fashion against Tennessee, and then a grinded-out overtime win against USC?
I learned that this team is immaculately prepared, immaculately conditioned, and they absolutely believe in each other and in their coach. You don't fight like they fought the last 2 weeks against the odds that they had to face the last 2 weeks, unless you believe and unless you love the people that you play with and play for. Before the Micah Simon catch that set up BYU at the end of the game in Tennessee, they had, I think, a 0.4 chance out of 100. So 0.4, less than 1% chance to win that game with 20 seconds to go. And yet they came out and they won it. In this game against USC, you had one of the best receiving corps in the nation and a freshman quarterback coming on the heels of setting freshman records at USC against Stanford the week before. And BYU still rose up and made the plays to win it. And so at the end, in overtime in both games, you can see the conditioning and the desire. So easy to wilt when you're tired, when you're exhausted. I saw a sign in a weight room one time that said, "Fatigue makes cowards of us all." And yet, at Tennessee, playing in the home environment, the climate, the humidity that Tennessee practices in all the time, BYU got relatively stronger into the fourth quarter and into two overtimes compared to Tennessee. And in this game, the big play at the end of overtime, Dayangan Walaku's interception, it was Kavika Fanua who tipped it, I believe. Both of those guys, had they been fatigued, would probably not have been able to make the play that they make, the tip and then the diving interception. And yet, at the end of the game, in overtime, they were ready and they cared and they made the play because they had prepared all off season long to do it. I tell you, I love watching these guys play because I can see their love in their play.
My MVP was Kalani Sitake. I thought BYU's defensive game plan was fantastic. First road start for Kedon Slovis, and the first drive for BYU, which, by the way, in all three games, BYU's allowed a touchdown drive on the first possession for the opponent. After that, interception, and then in overtime, another interception. Kairos Tonga was in the backfield. BYU dropped 8 a lot. I thought it was fantastic. What did you think of it?
It was fantastic, and it was a brilliant response to what they saw the week before from Kedon Slovis. The air raid offense that they're running is designed to get the ball into space, and it's designed so that young quarterbacks don't necessarily have to decode the nuances of coverage. They literally just find open grass and hit the receiver in that open grass. Now, it can get as complicated as you want as they get more mature in the offense, but that's how it started. That's how they torched Stanford last week. There's a lot of elements of the air raid that are not yet installed and being operated by USC because they're new in this offense. One is the short crossing routes and the double meshes and the 4 verticals and all the nuances off of that. And so there was a limited palette, a limited menu that Slovis had to operate, but he operated it at a high level. So what Coach Tuiaki did was see what things Slovis succeeded at, where he found the empty grass, the open space the week before. And by dropping 8 so often, he made it so that that space against Stanford turned into a crowd against BYU's defense, and he wasn't expecting it. It was those interceptions that really were the key moments in the game.
ESPN's Trevor Matich with us on BYU Sports Nation. Trevor, admittedly, I went into full-on fan mode at the end of the game because I was so happy for Kalani Sitake to get a signature win at home, which is something he had not done. He beats USC in Provo. What does that win mean for Kalani and the Cougars?
It's big. I mean, I think it's unfair that he should be feeling heat for his job. I think he is the right man for the job. And I think if they stay with him, he will be here for 20 years and be a beloved BYU football coach. And I'm glad that he got this win because it takes some of the heat off. I mean, we live in a microwave society where social media dictates everything. And in Twitter, if a tweet's not successful, if a photo doesn't get enough likes in 5 or 10 minutes, it's ancient history. Well, football programs are not built that way. Football programs are built in the long term. And having a signature win like that not only is fantastic for the program, within that facility, it's also great because it gives the social media people something good to chew on for at least a short period of time. Kalani Sitake, what makes him great, there's 2 things that make him great. One is his pure passion for this game. He has a passion that's unsurpassed in college football, and his pure love for his players. When you look him in the eye as he talks about his players, you see what you see in a father's eyes. You see that kind of love for his players and his desire that they be successful. Now, he knows the X's and O's. He understands how to run a program. All those different things are there. But his passion and his love are what make him, in my opinion, the perfect coach for BYU at this time in history. And this win against USC just solidifies that and backs down the people on social media who are looking for a microwave solution.
During the summer, we openly discussed, and I think both of us agreed, Spencer and I, that if BYU could win 2 of the first 4, that would be a success. Here we are with BYU at 2-1, inches away from being 0-3, but they are 2-1 with 2 overtime, dramatic, memorable victories over against storied programs in Tennessee and USC. So how would you evaluate BYU after 3 games this season?
I evaluate BYU as wildly surpassing expectations. They expected to win all 3 of them. But I think most fans feared the worst, that if they could steal one of those, okay, we'll be really happy. But I don't think very, very few people outside the program thought they could get here. But for goodness sake, you work so hard. And as a player, it's easier to work hard when you believe that your hard work will bear success. If you just go out and beat your head against the wall and you don't have success, you feel like you're wasting your time sometimes, and it's harder for players to stay focused on the hard work because it is the long-term effects of the hard work that eventually get programs where you want them to be. But the fact that they now have these 2 overtime wins in dramatic fashion is fruit on the tree. It's a pelt on the wall. It is absolute proof that what the coaches are asking them to do bears fruit and it works. And I tell you, that kind of belief to go with how they feel about each other is a very powerful synergy.
ESPN's Trevor Matich with us on BYU Sports Nation, another Matich Monday. The Cougars running back Tyson Williams for the 2nd consecutive game has exactly 20 touches and goes for 100-plus total yards. Trevor, is that enough for BYU to continue to play and be successful at this level?
Yes. They've got a good stable of running backs, and giving Tyson Williams this kind of a workload, I think, is good. Now, they may give him more as time goes on, as they understand how his body responds to a greater workload. But in the meantime, it's not like there's nobody else that can go in there and help, and that's important. I mean, you look at the receiving chart for this game. Matt Bushman only had 1 catch. It was a big one for 17 yards, but everybody's kind of focusing on him. But Wilson threw to 12 different guys. There were 3 guys that had 3 catches. Everybody else had 1 or 2. So the ball's being spread around to a lot of people. And I think that is one of the keys to BYU's offensive success so far this year.
Yeah, and my MVP was the BYU wide receivers because Oh, my goodness. Did you see multiple outstanding catches? I'm thinking of the hurdler stretch while he's being pass interfered Talon Shumway catch at the moment, Trevor.
Right, and that was a fight, wasn't it? That wasn't a reception. It wasn't a catch. A reception is such a nice word. It could be a wedding reception. It could be a reception. No, it wasn't a reception. It was a fight for the football. And Shumway and the rest of these receivers are showing that junkyard dog mentality that we have talked about for years. And we're seeing it now. And we're not just seeing it from one guy. We're seeing it from a whole bunch of guys. I mean, that's a different wide receiver room than we've seen in a long, long time. And I tell you, that kind of fight for the ball is the kind of thing that wins close football games because it turns into a catch instead of an incompletion, which extends a drive. It turns into an incompletion instead of an interception, which extends a drive. And we see the receivers right now contributing in a major way, in a way that is different from their contributions in years past.
Washington comes in, and let's wrap with this, Trevor, a team that's won the Pac-12 2 of the last 3 years. It's one thing to beat Tennessee and USC, who were 5-7 last year, and those are good wins, but it's another to take on Washington now, who spanked BYU last year 35-7. What do you think of the Huskies and where they're at this season coming into Provo for another big game?
This is a team that is up there with Utah in terms of the talent that BYU will face. They have a terrific secondary. They're very strong on the line of scrimmage. Not quite as strong as Utah, but they have a very experienced offensive line. This will be another gut check game for the front seven of BYU to stop the run. And they've got a deep stable of receivers and running backs. So really it comes down to, can Jacob Eason, their quarterback, perform well? 2 weeks ago he did not. Last week against Hawaii he did. But BYU has shown the ability to scheme, to force a quarterback into doing things that he's not comfortable with and away from doing the things that he has had recent success with. So really, the key to this game will be what BYU's defense can do to mess with Jacob Eason. Because other than that, it's a serious fight again for the fourth straight week.
Trevor, thank you for bringing your love and passion to BYU Sports Nation as always. Great to talk to you, man.
Thanks, guys.